Hello everybody, my name is Mytheros and I have a special video. It's not really special, like at all. It's probably been done. It's definitely been done. But I asked Twitter and the general Twitter community to send me pictures of their setups because I want to check them out. I want to just give criticism, good feedback. I want to suggest improvements, things that you can add that might spice things up a little bit. But overall, I just wanted you guys for content ideas. 2023, I'm trying to make more YouTube videos and I don't know what to do at all. But anyways, let's get into the video. I've got a lot of setups that people sent in, so let's go ahead and check them out. So the first submission is coming from @Bizlog777. This is one of the homies. You all know him, maybe. So looking at it right off the bat, he has a beautiful 4-monitor setup, and really, I don't see that many cables within his overall setup. I like the layout of his screens. This is something I originally was going to do with my setup. It looks like he has plenty of desk room. He's got that big stream deck, which I need to upgrade to that eventually. Super clean floor space. I'm just overall digging it. And I see that PS5 in there, you lucky motherfucker. And he's got the laptop set up in a way that I actually really like. It's out of the way, but it just feels like such a decent space to kind of have this side setup. I also just kind of dig that light bar too. I don't know what is that? Can I get the name? Overall, Biz setup is super clean. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. While I feel like this setup is super clean, it's very minimalistic. I feel like there could be more in a minimalistic aspect to kind of make it feel more filled out or more full. But you've done a great job with the space, man. I like it a lot. On to the next. We've got the homie @ThePags on Twitter as well, sending us his setup in. I love, well, first off, let me just preface. I know he got a new place. I love his new place. The aesthetic with his setup is so clean. I just love it. If you take a look at this first picture, he's got the beautiful 3-monitor setup. This is something that I was running. One thing I'll say right off the bat, get that thing mounted. I promise. Just mount all the monitors, get a triple monitor mount setup thing. It's gonna change your life. I know it doesn't seem like much. Your desk is pretty clean without the monitor mount, but just trust me, something about it just feels so much better than having them on stands. I do like the TV setup above the monitors. Again, this was something I was gonna do way back when I had the wall space for it and I didn't want to drill into the wall. And kind of jumping right into that second picture, if you notice, he has like a little bit of a living room setup going. He's got the couch, he's got the coffee table. I think that the TV above the setup is super smart. It really makes use of a space. If you don't have too much space, if you don't have an area that's really like your own office, if you're gonna go with like a living room setup like this kind of seems, I don't know the full details. I definitely think this is a smart idea. You can utilize that into your own setup while also utilizing it as kind of like a living room area. When you shut down for the night, you kind of just want to watch stuff from the couch. But I think it's super smart. I love the nano leaves on the wall as well. It definitely makes the room super bright. Overall, I'm just loving the theme of it. And something really quick, I'm gonna zoom in on the picture. Mans has his PC mounted to the wall. That shit is cool as fuck. Props to you, Pags. I'm gonna give you an 8 out of 10, just like the homie Biz. I love the setup. My only real thing would just be getting some mounts in there, mounting that monitor, getting maybe even like a camera mount. I see that camera on there as well, but super clean. Next on the list, we've got @Mikey Perk, the famous man himself, Mr. Mikey. If you take a look at the picture, Mikey's got his own, it looks like just whole overall office, which is something I'm super envious of. Right now, I'm kind of in it's not necessarily like an office. It was supposed to be a dining room, but I share this space with someone else and that's never been a problem, never interfered with that. But I just like having my own office space to customize and kind of do everything freely with. I'm not too used to having like windows in the background of my setup. And I just really like what Mikey's done here. I see all that soundproof paneling right behind the setup, which is something that I wanted to do in the past before as well. He's got that huge desk, tons of room, and it just feels like it's very customized to what Mikey wants it to be. It feels very homey in a sense. This is something where like, this is like such a specific scenario. This is something where like, if I walked into one of the homies' houses when I was younger and we went into their basement, I would see the setup and be so envious, almost like oh my God, that's your big brother setup? That's so cool, I love that. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this, which is never a bad thing at all. I feel like it's definitely personalized to what Mikey wanted to do and I love it. Tons of activity room here. I don't know if you have a VR headset, Mikey, but if you don't, get one, trust. With that amount of space, The world is your oyster. I really don't have too many suggestions for this setup. I just like the homey feel of everything. Seriously. Feels like you kind of know what you're gonna do with the space. Like I said, I don't have any recommendations. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. I like this a lot, Mikey. Next up, we got the homie at The Lonely Dew. And just right off the bat, I really like what you've done with this space. You have a big enough room where it doesn't feel like your PC setup is too intrusive, where as I see the bed, this is probably a bedroom. This is a bedroom. But you've made a lot with the space that you had, while keeping it kind of fresh and away from, even if you want to disconnect for the night and stay offline and having that like quiet time in bed. I always love corner setups. I'm a sucker for corner setups. I don't know why. The homie's surrounded by all of the anime Funkos, all the Attack on Titan posters. I'm a simp. I see that manga shelf there too and some of the statues. It's super dope. I love it. It feels very, like I said with Mikey's, it feels very homey. It feels like you know what you want to do with the space. It just feels kind of comfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm sitting down in like a rocket ship cockpit. I see you've got the bigger monitor for the console. You got that smaller monitor for kind of the PC setup. I know you mainly do things on console and enjoy the console gaming. One thing I would definitely recommend in the future is get yourself a monitor that maybe matches the size of the other monitor that you have on the left. Get that thing put on a mount. It's gonna feel really nice, even if it's not directly connected, both monitors being connected to like a PC, but one monitor being connected to the PC and one monitor being connected to like the Xbox that you have there. I definitely think it'll make the setup feel cleaner, but with the space that you have there while also keeping your other interests that aren't really PC related, I think you did a great job with the space as well. I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10. I like it. And like I said, all just minor recommendations, but it's your setup at the end of the day. Next up, we've got at Yeti on a unicycle. I love the name, first off. It's just fantastic. Yeti's setup feels almost like the movie biz. Like, I feel like this is very professional in a sense. I feel like if I were to sit down here, I feel like most of the time it would make me want to just make content, be live, just do stuff with the setup that you have going on so far. With you kind of being closed off to the wall and having that green screen in the back, that kind of makes it feel like it's go, go, go time. Personally, not for me, just because I kind of like having that clean, open back aesthetic that I've had going on for a little bit. But I do like it. I feel like a setup like this would actually motivate me a lot to make content and just kind of kick it into gear. One thing I will say though is even with the splits in the space between all the monitors you have on your setup, I definitely feel like the space is still implemented really smart. Everything has a really good flow to it with that L-shaped kind of desk. It looks like you don't really struggle for space on anything. If anything, you might bump your elbow into like the mouse on your second setup or whatever you have going on there, but it has a good flow to it. I don't feel like it would personally bother me. And overall, just with the space that you have to make this setup kind of be your thing, I think you did a good job with it. I don't know the space that you have around you. One thing I would definitely recommend is maybe get some shelves, hang up some more stuff, just kind of make it feel a little bit more personalized towards you. Maybe even bring your interests, hobbies around you if you can't really have it in your background, because I know you're going for that green screen look, or so it appears. But other than that, I don't really have any recommendations. I feel like you know what you're doing with the setup. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. Good job, Yeti, I like it. Next setup is from the homie Midas Gaming HD on Twitter. I only have the one picture to reference here, but I like what you did with the space that you have. It's not the biggest desk on the planet at first glance, you can obviously tell that. Something I would definitely recommend upgrading in the future. I don't know your living situation, but I'm assuming that's something you want to do for the future. But for the space that you have, it feels very filled out without being too cluttered. You don't really have stuff scattered around, stuff stuffed underneath the monitors like statues or Funkos or G Fuel or whatever the fuck you want to have underneath there. And I definitely think that helps in your case where you don't have that much space for the desk, where it makes it feel like it is yours. It's in the beginning step of what you want it to eventually be. But overall, like I said, the use of the space is very smart. I really like what you did here. And overall, pretty decent job. And like I said, in the future, recommendation is just get bigger desk. Like I said, I don't know your living situation or anything like that. I would definitely say bigger desk. Maybe wrap an LED strip around the back of the monitors eventually in the future whenever you get your setup how you want it. Other than that, pretty dope. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. And the last one for this episode comes from at J64. I know he just recently kind of finished up his build and I am in love with this. I love the use of the solid oak top that he's got going on, the white drawers, the black legs. All the colors just mesh really well. It looks like there's a specific theme that he has going on with all those kind of nice colors, the white, the natural oak, the black. You got the hardwood floor going, you have that gray, like lighter gray accent wall, and you have those really nice shelves hung up with the Funko Pops, and I absolutely fucking love it. The space feels very thought out. It feels very much like you had a vision in your head, you've been working towards it for a while now, and you were able to implement that, and it feels like something, even if it's not my setup, I feel like I should be proud for you for it. Desk space is super clean, it's super organized, nothing feels really cluttered or just visually aggravating. And overall, your setup is probably what a lot of people dream of. I really like what you did here. Personally, to me, this makes me feel like you as a person are very organized, you're very thoughtful for the work that you put into what you want to be surrounded by. I definitely think that's something to be proud of, for sure. I think it reflects good on your character, and overall, I fucking love the setup, dude. You killed this. Overall, I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is something eventually when I have my own house, this is something I would want to do in one of the side rooms. I love it. It's so clean. It makes it feel just such like a productive space where things can happen. So, hell yeah, boys. And real quick, I just want to thank everybody that responded to my Twitter post. I appreciate everybody sending in their pictures. I don't know what to do for content. So you guys are my content. No, but seriously, guys, you guys all have amazing setups, and just keep working on them, keep grinding towards your goals. 2023 is going to be a great year for you, and I hope to just keep seeing everybody improve and work towards what they want to build. I have a lot more responses I need to go through, but we're just going to keep it sweet and short for this one. If you guys want to see other videos like this, make sure to just comment down below, send me pictures of your setup. I'll do more stuff like this. But other than that, have a good day, guys. I appreciate it again.